If you want to improve the color of your artwork, chances are you need to improve your diet. And no, not the food diet, but your mental diet. One of the questions I get most often is, how can I get better at color? And here's the thing. Color is a tricky subject to improve on. Like, there are definitely color combinations that we find pleasing, but it's not a skill you can easily level up in, like with anatomy, where there's objectively right and wrong and you can practice and memorize muscles. Or motor skills, like sports or gaming, where you level up hand-eye coordination. Color, on the other hand, I believe color levels up with your soul and your tastes as you evolve as a person. Because what you feed your mind is what your hands will serve. In art school, we would do these studies known as limited color palette studies, where I think you're supposed to reverse engineer the colors of a piece by guessing the colors on the artist's palette. I'm gonna be so real, I have no idea. Some people loved this. They claim it helped their color overnight. But I hated it with a passion deeper than the ocean. Color was a place where I had fun with the piece. The composition, the line art, that's prep work. That's the blah part. That's the pain part in painting. But color was pure joy, where I could input emotion back into my work. How dare someone take this and mathematize it? I chose to go to art school for Pete's sake. I did my AP Calc and my AP Science in my high school days. I've paid my dues. Do not make me pay it again. I personally had a completely different approach to color. And chances are, if you're on this side of the algorithm, you're probably just like me. I once heard a tale from a prestigious artist who landed a big client in commercial. The client wanted an eye-catching keyframe and said, "This is our biggest illustration, so I want you to use every single color out there." And the artist and everyone listening to the story groaned, like, are you serious? Using a bunch of colors does not automatically make a piece amazing. But I also don't blame them. If you look at my super old art, dear God, that really hurts. There is no nuance in the color. Everything was saturated because I thought that's what beauty was. The shadows, skin tone, all of it was quite muddy and didn't quite mesh. But I couldn't see those flaws. My eyes couldn't perceive better colors. And if your colors are muddy, chances are you know something is wrong, but you just can't see the muddiness quite clearly. It's like if all your life you were eating frozen microwave pasta dinners, and then suddenly an Italian chef cooks you homemade pasta with loving ingredients. You didn't even know what you were missing out on until you tasted the best of the best. That's the key to improve your taste.
Wow, that's so good.
Train yourself to see subtleties naturally. And just like changing anything related to lifestyle, it can take a while to see or feel the results, but it will make the biggest difference in your art. And the pickier I became, the better my colors became. I used to look at Ghibli movies and think, wow, how did these artists come up with such whimsical greenery and paint such full soft clouds? Only to land in Japan and realize, oh wait, it just actually looks like that.
I attended a painting workshop by a background painter at Ghibli. One of the biggest pieces of advice that he would get is you have to observe. Now that I see the environment that Yoichi Nishikawa was observing, I almost feel like it's a little bit unfair. Like, I was trying so hard to observe Los Angeles, but the truth is that we literally do not have greenery this lush.
Unless we're uprooting ourselves and moving to Japan, chances are, like me, we don't have much control over our country or town. But we do have agency over the things immediately around us. So, I try to always surround myself with colorful items, such as my water glasses, or my claw clip that ties up my hair. Our art is like a beautiful meal cooked out of our mind. And so to make something delicious, you need the highest quality ingredients. Guys, I've always wanted to do a fruit shot. If your daily diet, visually and emotionally, is bland and gray, your paintings will taste the same. But if you train yourself to savor subtle flavors, to notice the tiniest shifts in hue, and to crave color in all of its forms, it will show itself on your plate, your art, and your life.
Hello and welcome to Inventory Intermission. Or should I say ingredient intermission? Because people always ask, what are you using? To which I always answer, I've got you. Normally, I talk about the physical materials that I use, but this time I wanted to talk about the kind of ingredients of my brain. So like where I pull my references from, because your art is only as good as your references. So with that, let me share some of the sites that I usually like to use. First off, like many artists out there, Pinterest. Now, I love using Pinterest. I like it far better than Google search because it's usually curated by people like you and me, so very creative individuals. After that are museum websites, because Pinterest isn't always historically accurate. So the British Museum or the Metropolitan Museum of Art, so the Met, those are fantastic websites, and you can always browse their collections, which are meticulously curated. But however, the best is still going to other artists, which is why I am so excited to announce the sponsor of this video, which is pixiv! That's right, baby! We're sponsored! I've personally been using pixiv since I was in middle school. And if you've never heard of pixiv, it is the #1 art platform and community in Japan. And in fact, if I wanted to look up anime art when I was like 15 years ago, if I wanted to look it up, I would have to use 0chan. So when I discovered what pixiv was, I was like, oh my god, where has this been all my life? Like, I think that honestly, a lot of the artists on pixiv are the ones who shaped who I am as an artist today. Best part is, as someone who actively tries to restrict their screen time, they release a collection of their prominent works every single year in print. So I have their 2022, and I also have their 2021 books. They also do region-specific books as well. I'll get to that in just a moment. Their English features have improved significantly since when I first joined, as they're trying to expand internationally. And I really encourage you to make an account and just check it out. In fact, they're offering every viewer a 3-month trial of their premium, but don't worry, the site is completely free. But what premium does do is it allows you to search artwork with even more nuance, like by popularity or by gender. They're also giving away a copy of Artists in Americas, signed by yours truly, to anyone in the United States or Canada. But I will leave the details for that in the description. Thank you so much, pixiv. It feels so good to help back a team that has helped me so much as an artist. And I hope it helps you too.
So now, you know how to improve your diet. But how do we really ingrain it? How can we fast track our way to getting better at color? I'm going to tell you right now, and this is something I absolutely stand by, which is physically painting. The physical act of having to mix color, I promise, is one of the best ways to improve color.
I would never think that hydrangeas and like giant Buddhist rock statues and temples would ever like mix well together.
Before I started digital art at all, I started with the traditional watercolor and oil paintings. But if you can't paint, just using more color in your sketchbook or more everyday drawing can help. Like, I almost always sketch in color. You can bring highlighters, crayons, heck, you can bring blendy pens. And please tell me someone understands this reference. In my last video, I mentioned llamas on DeviantArt and I felt like no one got it, so now I'm questioning what you guys actually know. So if you know Blendy Pens, come through.
So I finished my painting. It's definitely not perfect and I've been very, very rusty. So if I could bring all of my paints up to a abandoned temple in the middle of nowhere, you can too. I believe in you.
I promise that everything you do traditionally will pay off in your digital works. It may not appear to translate one for one, but it will improve your eye sensitivity, which is the bedrock for any color improvement. Color is spiritual and emotional to me. Very sorry to those who wanted a 2 + 2 = 4 kind of art tutorial. I look back at my old art and I can see how I've evolved not only as an artist, but as a person through the years through my color. My color comes from within me. It's like a giant stew that comes from within my mind where all the ingredients are from the places I've been, the objects around me, and the artworks I love. Improving your color, ultimately, is a very slow process. Just like everything else, we take it in subconsciously, and it can take years to change your own taste and to develop an eye of your own. When all is said and done, color is subjective. That's what makes it so hard to learn. And no, you are not crazy if reading vast amounts of color theory didn't work for you. It didn't work for me either. But in a world where everyone is distracted and chronically online, it is up to you to surround yourself with good color. Your body is a temple. Your mind is one too. So make the color around you an absolute feast. And go eat.